Right, Shalom. This is your brother Shamar from the Phoenix Camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the scriptures. This is 1 Timothy. We'll start at verse 12. It says, "Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and in purity." Because most of the time, a lot of young men in their 20s or even in their 30s, they come into this truth. While the rest of the world is seeking folly and bullshit, and self-gain and women, the Lord calls young men, to be part of the truth, to be partakers of the truth, to be you could say leaders of the truth, man. Because brothers learn quickly and soon they're out there preaching. So these young men that learn the truth, they are special in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yoshai. I'm gonna go ahead and get a scripture real quick. A few scriptures. This is 1 Timothy 5:1. It says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger man as brethren." So that's how you're supposed to act towards men in this truth. Those that are older you, whether they be older you in spirit or age, experience, you treat them as you would you honor him like you would honor your own father. And those younger men, you treat them, or men your age, you treat him as if though he was your real life brother, because he is. Because the body is tightly knit. It's very close. So we need to make strides to keep a very tight sense of unity amongst ourselves. That's why there's no place for schisms or anything like that. Saying the truth, man. So there's a code of conduct amongst the men of the Lord. How we're supposed to treat each other. And I'm gonna get a few scriptures to show it. This is Titus 2:1, and it says, "But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine." So your speech must be monitored. You must monitor your own speech, man. To the best of your ability. Everything you say or speak or think should have of edification toward, or the point of edification towards it, man. We don't just say words to say words. We speak with intent, if you want to put it like that. So that the aged men be sober, grave, let's get that thing for grave, reverent, temperate, sound in faith, and charity and patience. And then it talks about the women, but we're going to skip that one. And then verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober. Well, verse 5. Over down verse 6, because I'm speaking about the women, and that's not what the lesson's about. Verse 6, "Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded." So what you see here is a code of conduct amongst the men of the Lord, and also women, but we're not teaching that right now. So young men likewise to exhort to be sober-minded, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, man. So that means that you're very discreet, you're very sincere in your actions and motives and how you deal with other people. And that's true maturity right there, man. Brothers, young brothers in this truth, when they're among the world, people will always comment how mature they are for their age, because they level themselves to they brought themselves up to a level of maturity that's beyond their peers. And that's part of this truth. Maturity is a big part of this truth, man. Being a mature person, having a sense of maturity about you, is a big part of this truth. We don't act. The scriptures talk about Salat. This is 1 Corinthians 14:20. It says, "Brethren, be not children understanding, howbeit in malice be ye children, but understanding be men." So we're called to have a sense of maturity in this truth, man. It says, "Be not children in understanding." So you gotta be mature. You gotta have a sense of manliness, manhood about you when you're in this truth. When you perform the works of this knowledge. It says, "Howbeit in malice be ye children." So be foolish or Salat. be foolish and naive in the things of wickedness, but in this truth and the knowledge, be mature. You know, be men. You know, Scripture talk about putting away childish things. Let's go ahead and get that. This is 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. And it says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood the child, and I thought as a child. But when I became a man, see, that's talking about, you know, having a maturity, a manliness about you. You know, in this knowledge, I put away childish things. So those things of immaturity are put away. And what is a man? We're going to go ahead and get that, man. Let's get the definition of man according to the Bible. Now this is this is 1 Kings 2 and 1. It says, now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die. I mean, he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. So what's the way of all the earth? Every man dies. So he was at his what you call deathbed, and these are the last words of admonishment and edification towards his son. It says, I go the way of all the earth. Be strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. So according to the Bible, this is the definition of a man. Verse 3, and keep the charge of the Most High power, thy power to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his judgments, and his keep his statutes, commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whatsoever thou turnest thyself. So that's the definition of a man according to the Bible. So you can say that the majority of people out here are in a childish, immature mind state because they're not following the ways of the Lord, which are the law, statutes, and commandments. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians. I'm going to go ahead and get 2 Timothy 2 and 2. This 2 Timothy 2 and 2. And it says, I'll start at verse 1. So thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Mashiach Yahushua. So not only are you called to be mature, not only you're called to put away childish things, you're also called to be strong. Strong in the spirit, strong in mentality, strong in focus. It says, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who should be able to teach others also. So it's also just supposed to have you have the responsibility of teaching others. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Mashiach Yahushua. That's also part of maturity, being a man too, enduring difficult things. No man that, you know, being out of your comfort zone, not being in a self-pleasing mind state or pleasure-seeking mind state. It says, no man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of life. You're not with the bullshit. You put away childish things, that you may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, he is not crowned, except he strive lawfully. The husbandman that is laborers must be first partaker of the fruits. Consider what I say. The Lord give thee understanding in all things. So if you can understand this, the Lord will open up doors for you, man. So maturity is a big part of this truth. Maturity in growth as a man is a big part of this truth. This is the last frontier of manhood upon planet Earth, man. Because what they're doing is they want to feminize the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American man. But the Bible teaches us to hold on to manhood in the form of the scriptures, man, in the form of this truth. So with that being said, just a real quick lesson once again here at the plantation. Most High willing, hope was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.